Boom. What that that ding. What that ding. Hempress Sativa in the house. She's the lyrical machine. Everyone, please welcome to the Simmer Down Radio program, the Queen, Empress Sativa, straight out of Kingston, Jamaica.
Greetings, Alex. Greetings. Thanks for having I. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure. From the second I heard that track, I was all in. I
Good
immediately
time.
felt your power and your presence. You put the rebel in reggae music. You do.
Respect.
Reggae
Respect.
music reggae music is not just about love and peace. The music comes from struggle, the trials and tribulations of pure existence of life. Tell us a little bit about your life, your Charka, which we will talk about in a minute.
Okay. So I have a new album. It's called Charka. Charka meaning life. It's a nickname that was given to me as a baby because I was born 7 months prematurely. Right? So my parents thought it fit, and of great significance to call me Charka. So I wanted the album. I named the album that as a representation of just, my life experience. Like, for example, on the album, you'll hear a song called Get a Life. And Get a Life basically speaks about my upbringing, about growing up in the ghetto, a Mona Common Papine, and what it was like just living in poverty and all my parents tried their best to just make sure that they could provide for their children. And then you have a song called Give Me Loving, which is a remix of my father's song, original song, and that speaks about relationship and love. So, there's just many facets to this album.
We can't wait to hear it. Sound the Trumpet is available now. This is the sophomore release. I want to go into a little bit more of Charka here in a bit, but it is Mother's Day. I want to talk about family in general because your family is extremely special. Albert,
Yes,
Malawi, the Jalo
yeah,
sound system, and your mother too is Mother's Day. She would tell you, go out and conquer the world. Do you
of
think
course.
you're and I was watching a couple of interviews and doing some research, especially one you just did with one of your very close friends, and you were talking about your father literally locking you in your room when you were a very young age and turning it all the way up and giving you a microphone. I mean, do you think your parents like somehow knew that you are supposed to be this, or do you think they're just really good parents who love you?
They were the best parents. All right. One of the things I want people to understand is my mother started having children when she was 15, and my father wasn't much further from her in terms of age. So they were young and they were trying to make life on their own. So basically, my love that I have for music is because of my father. And I don't think that his intention was to say, all right, I'm going to create a star. What my father basically did was led by example. His love for music, it just translated back into my whole entire life. Growing up, we see people like Tapazuki, we see people like Gary Selassie, Freddie McGregor just coming to the house. And it was so much humility. My father basically used to set up his sound system playing just conscious music for the whole entire community. And to this day, if you go to his house, it's the same thing. It doesn't change, right? Growing
Yeah.
up in the ghetto, them basically just wanted to provide the best life that they could for their children, given what they were given. So I don't think they wanted to just specially say, all right, I'm going to teach you everything, for you to be a star. It's basically just life teachings. And that I just capitalize on that growing up, recognizing that I had a talent. Because initially I wanted to do like law and stuff like that and attempted to even do it. But then when I was at home one day, I just get this overwhelming feeling to start write music. And that's just what I did. And then I just get this other energy to want to record it so other people could hear it. Just the same way I saw my father doing it. So it's just they're leading by example and I'm just following. They're the best parents, They did the absolute best and I'm absolutely grateful.
The family is always better together. I always say that.
My parents used to always pray together and say, a family pray together, stay together. So I wholeheartedly agree.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you're late. We got the one, the only Empress Sativa in the house. New record, Charka, is going to be dropping June the 16th, I believe, of this
Correct.
year. Big up
Correct.
Conquering Lion Records. Big up Jamaica, man. You know, one thing your father said, or I heard something. He said vinyl is final. It's the best way to
Definitely.
preserve the music, and we love vinyl as well,
Respect. Respect for that.
especially scientist.
The
You
dub
know,
album.
Empress meets scientist. We had the pleasure of chatting and getting to know Hopeton about 3 or 4 months ago via something like this, and I wanted to ask you kind of about dub. Reggae music's secret weapon. Hopeton said to me, dub is a recomposition of an existing piece of music. Tell us about your experience with scientists and your love for dub.
That is a genius. An absolute genius. Not only just the way how he mixes the dub version, but if I ever have an event and I call him to come give me a strength, I'm going to get the best output of sound. It's gonna be the quality, top quality performance, top quality sound. Because this man has perfected the art of creating and re-engineering sound. So you can have an original version and it's awesome, but the minute scientists put his touch on it, it becomes magic. This man has so much humility and so much willingness to even share with others his knowledge. And you have to give big respect to elders like that who are willing to facilitate even younger artists in the capacity that he did for me. Remember, scientist is a established artist in his own right. Granted, the fact that whenever he recreates the music, you hear a complete different sound. So you have to give him respect for that. But it's the level of humility that he exudes. Whenever you meet him, he has this willingness to just want to share and help out and to just help you to have the best experience on stage. So
We
respect to Overton Brown.
big up. You know, you were saying I didn't know him. We didn't know him personally, but when we got him on the phone and we started talking, felt like you knew him forever. We had so many
True.
things in common. He was so humble, yet so real with his craft and what he does. He's just an incredible person. So I want to move on to just dub in general. Dub is a part of you for sure.
Definitely.
Tell us
If you
about
listen
dub
to
and
if
Hempress
you listen
Sativa.
to all of my records, there's always a dub version. And my plan is to always have a dub album to every album that's going to be released. So even for the Charka, we already have works to do that. So you can look forward to a dub album for the Charka for ones who keep asking. And to even just to address even the argument about vinyl being final. My father basically instilled that concept in me based upon how I saw him operating as a selector. This man would dedicate his literal bed, would not sleep on his bed. He would put his vinyls there and categorize them for the upcoming show. He will have a whole entire room dedicated to his vinyls and just sound system culture. And by just his example, I get an appreciation for it. When you can put on a vinyl and hear the little sounds, it sounds so authentic. So this is something that I personally want to preserve. You know, everything is becoming digitalized and computerized, and that is all good because we have to advance based upon how they say. But for me, some things I want to hold safe and I want to safeguard it and preserve it, and vinyl is one of that things. I think it's very iconic to the sound system culture because now you find everybody's coming out with their computer. And for me, that is a cheat a cheat code on how to play music. For the elders, they would literally have to listen, sit, play the vinyl and go through all of the music, listen to everything, make their marking to know where they're coming when they're gonna play the turntable. You don't find that anymore. That living culture is dying out completely. So we have to give respect to the ones them who are maintaining that. And so I have to give respect to my father. Back to the dub. For me, I have to maintain that because whenever I hear a dub version, it gives me a whole different perspective on the song. Oftentimes I find myself just becoming lost in a whole different world of music where I literally can rewrite other songs on that dub and it's almost like an extended version of that particular song. So we give thanks to even scientists for preserving that right now in this day and age.
Spoken from the queen right there. Dub is, like I said, it's reggae's secret weapon. Nobody's got dub. We have dub. And you're right. I listened to Unconquer Rebels and then we listened to this, and it is like a different record, but it's the same music. All of your music is absolutely fantastic. And I want to absolutely, and I want to focus on this new release, Charka, which is going to be dropping June 16th, 2023, this year, right now. Yeah. On Conquering Lion Records. Tell us about your sophomore release.
All right, so Charka is my sophomore album, and I'm excited. I know ones are very impatient, but I'm very grateful nonetheless for the support I've been receiving so far, even with the Sound of Trumpet release single. Conquering Lion Record is an independent label, and for those who don't know, we create all the music ourselves. We do basically everything ourselves regarding this, the production of the songs, right? For the Charka album, it's a 12-track album to be released on June 16th. It features some iconic names like Sister Carol, Sister Nancy. I have my sisters, Kelissa and Kida, on this. And also my father is on it, Albert Ilau Malawi, selector, songwriter, producer, musician, right now, artist in this capacity. And I even have like my mother. So this whole album is very personal and dear to my heart. You know, we take the time to really recreate a sound that would explain a story about just how life was for me in a different capacity throughout the songs. Like you hear me tell you about Get a Life, and I tell you about Give Me Loving. And there's also a song on it called Wisdom that speaks about just my whole experience in the music industry. So one can basically look forward to like a art of storytelling for me through this. It got through different phases of my life, different experiences, and I just excited to share. And hopefully ones can appreciate it the way I do.
We love you. We love you so much. We love you so much. We can't wait for this record. If you're just tuning in, once again, you're late. We got Hempress Sativa, the one, the only, the lyrical machine. Boom, ding. Yeah, the queen is in the house. I want to move on here real quick. I want to talk about Jamaica, the current state of Jamaica right now, and women in reggae music, not just in Jamaica. I find that on our, 6-7 years ago on the radio show, when I was hosting it 7-8 years ago, I was Sister Carol, of course, there were artists like Hyrie in the US and stuff like that. And Holly Cook, of course, but now we have shows that are pretty much all women, and it's not like on purpose. It's just happening because you all are crushing it. Tell us about women and being a woman and doing this and doing it right, and in Jamaica.
All right. Well, being a woman in the music industry, initially, it wasn't easy, because if a man had to just get up and just sing anything, his type of music is easily accepted. For us, we have to come a little bit harder. We have to be very mindful of how we look, how we present ourselves, how we sound on top of it. For a male dominant industry, it's very just accepting of just whatever men do. So as a woman coming up, we get a little fight here and there, but for me, I always say, you see, once you have confidence in yourself, you're not easily defeated. Marcus Garvey said you'll be twice defeated in the race of life, but to me, if you have confidence, you're not easily defeated. So even though they will say things and do things that will deter your progress, you will find a way how to work around it. So for me to look and see that woman now is, having an all-woman show, it's a great improvement. And we appreciate it. And we want to see that transfer throughout the globe. Because sometimes when you even look on other parts of the world, like even Jamaica, you don't really see that many women on the stage show. And if they're even on the stage show, they're not given the same prime time to be featured as how they would do the men. So we want others to come on board and on page and just give us the platform to showcase our talent, because we have something to say too. Our voices need to be heard. So respect to all of the women who paved the way, so it can be a little bit easier for us. Because in a truth and reality, you would find that back in the days, women would tell a story about having to sleep with producers, having to sleep with managers, having to sleep around in order to get an opportunity for their voices, their music to be heard. And even when that is done, they don't have any access or right to their music. Yeah.
It's
so it's disgusting. It's disgusting. The experiences that many had to live through. But we still have to say we stand on their shoulders and we come to pave the way for make change. So respect to all of the women who are making their voices be heard loud and clear.
Yeah. All people are people. No people are not people. There's no, like it's just doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm so happy to see this surge of powerfully talented women such as yourself, especially coming out of Jamaica, which can be an even tougher place in the world.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah. Even for me, when I was doing shows in Jamaica, like I get limited shows in Jamaica. Why?
Really?
No, for real. I don't even think people are aware of who I am in Jamaica, in my own country, and it's no joke. You can do a survey. You could do a survey, and there's a couple of things I realized. If you're a woman, in order for you to be seen, your name must be mentioned by a man that is established. That's how they accept women in Jamaica, It's not on the sheer efforts of your talent and your skills as a musician or an artist. Oftentimes, it's based upon who is able to push you to the forefront or call your name up so others can be heard, and you have to appreciate those who do that. Because otherwise it's going to be a trying task for many of them.
Yeah. It's just that blows my mind to hear that even now in the present you're not doing really shows in Jamaica.
No, I'm not.
Well,
my show, I had to keep my own show in Jamaica, and that is how I came up with the concept of doing Hempress Sativa Live. Hey, and that is why I've been doing Hempress Sativa Live, and that is why every time I do it, I make sure I have a balance of women and men performing. There's no way you're gonna come to my show and just see a whole showcase that just man just perform the whole night. That makes no sense. We have to learn to balance out everything, because the reality of life is there is a balance in the masculine and feminine. So we must always be able to perpetuate that in a real time. And that is why I do that. Yeah. So you have to give all respect to even Kellysa and Kida, because not only on the album, but in a real life, if I ever call them for strength, They're always willing and able to assist. Sister Carol, Mama Nancy, the same.
Yeah. I mean, we're so happy to have you on this planet. Like I said, when I heard that boom, I heard that, and it didn't even, something clicked in my head. I was like, you are something very special. And
I appreciate that.
we'll talk about what's coming up here in a second, but I want to get even deeper because we're kind of even on this topic right now. You're known as the lyrical machine. You say, create music that can inspire change. You say, I want to strengthen you so you can be strong. Then you can strengthen someone else, and so on. You say, I will never remain quiet. Just to let you know, you now have a voice that the world is listening to. What do you want to use that voice for?
I want to use that voice to continue to speak up for truth and rights for the oppressed, for those who are disenfranchised, for those who cannot speak on their own behalf. I want to always use the voice to speak up for truth, regardless of what it costs, regardless of the outcome. I just know that is my charge, because I have had experiences where I needed people to speak on my behalf and there was no one to aid. So having been through that experience, I know it is my charge to do the same for others. I know as something that I have to do.
And you will do it. I know you
Give
will.
thanks.
You have the power of music, and you have a voice now. And when you have that voice, you have the power to change the world. Isn't that
True.
cool? Yeah.
I just want to use it wisely.
You have to, absolutely. So, hey, lighter note, what's coming up? I do want to talk about the live show, Hempress Sativa, and don't forget the Unconquerables. The Unconquerable. I mean, yeah, man, that your band is
Yes,
so
I love
good,
them.
so good. Let's talk about your live
Yes.
show.
Okay. So I have a live show coming up. It's in UCLA. It's called the Jazz Fest. It's on, let me see. It's on the 29th of this month. For other live shows, we have stuff coming up in June on the East Coast. So we'll be going to Maine, New York, Vermont, those areas. So one can look forward to that listing on hempresssativa.com. Right? Live shows, otherwise, we'll be basically showcasing the album, and we'll be making ones aware of where we will be. We have to big up the Unconquerable band, definitely though, like when you touch on that. Big up to Randy, big up to Cespo, big up to Berkey, big up to Junior, big up to Jealous. Wholeheartedly, I have so much love and respect for my band because they give me the energy and the vigor to can just go out on stage and do my best. So, respect to all of the singers, all of the players of instruments who are dedicating their time and energy to creating positive sounds.
The family is always better together. And we gotta respect everyone, like there's these artists out there that are in the mainstream that have a backing band or a session musician that they hire. No, it's my band. It's
Definitely
part of me, and people need to realize that. And you obviously do. So one thing I noticed, speaking of the live show, I have a suggestion for you. You said that before you discovered yourself to be Hempress Sativa and the lyrical machine that you really loved dancing. Have you ever thought about incorporating dancing and choreography into the live
You're
Hempress
reading
gig?
my mind, Alex. You are.
Oh no,
It was
I've already figured
intended
it
to be a
out.
surprise. I've thought about that on many occasions, even when I'm listening to my own music. And I've been inspired to just want to replicate that in like a video coming up. So one can look forward to me dancing in a video. Alex, no, secret.
Well, I don't know you, and when I feel like I know you. So certain artists, I feel like I know them before I meet them because there's just some energy that I feel with the music. And when I was listening to you the other day, I like to go deep, and you do have that power now. Like way back in the day, like, I wanted to dance. Well, now you can if you want. You can
I
do
will.
both. You can do
I
both.
will.
How cool is
I
that?
will.
Hey, it has been
I will.
such a blast getting to
Likewise.
know you. We can't wait to come see you live at some point. I know we will meet at some point.
True,
Charka
true.
is the new record. It's her sophomore
Yes.
release. She's gonna she's already taken the world by storm. I mean, don't mess with Empress, man. She is
Respect, Alex.
the one all the way up. Conscious music. Big up, big up. We love you.
Respect.
One more
Love you too, Alex.
question.
Respect. Thank you.
Respect. One more question for you. Everyone gets this the first time I interview them. Again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Everyone, please check out Empress Sativa, empresssativa.com. Charka, the new record. Get into it. What does reggae mean to you?
Reggae means life. Like I tell them, music is a soundtrack to life. Reggae, for me, is the genre to my life. There is not a song that exists in the feel of reggae that cannot replicate the feeling or the essence or the energy that you're going through. So one have to give respect. It's a spirited genre. It's a genre for the oppressed. It's a genre giving voice to the voiceless. So people have to give respect to reggae. Reggae reach the four corners of the earth, transmuting the spiritual messages in the minds of the masses. And once it's etched there, they cannot get it out. So respect to all of the lovers, the supporters, the sharers of reggae music, the players of reggae music, the singers of reggae music, even the selectors and the DJs who showcase the reggae music like yourself, Alex. Much respect. You're helping to keep our genre, our culture alive. So big love and respect. Simmer down. Respect. Thank you so much for having I and I.
Boom. What that ding. That's Hempress Sativa. And that was that ding.
Soldiers near and far. We're in a spiritual war. Be prepared. Arms up your mind, that's a deadly weapon.